Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we've got something really unusual. It's this source file. Looks like an error log. Render log ghostalbedo.err.
That's right, and it's not your standard crash log. It seems to chronicle the breakdown of a specific calculation.
Running on a handler unit. Okay.
Our goal here is to unpack why it failed. Because the reasons listed, let's just say they're not standard computational errors. Very unconventional variables involved.
Okay, so where does it start?
Well, the process kicks off by trying to run something called the quantum Toasky protocol. Basically, trying to turn quantum data into readable text.
Quantum text, right?
And immediately, the data gets tagged as non-Euclidean.
Non-Euclidean, so like weird geometry, not our usual space.
Exactly. The system itself flagged it, and it warned right away that significant lossiness was pretty much guaranteed.
So it knew converting the stuff was going to be a problem from the get-go, but that's not even the weirdest part, is it?
Not even close.
Yeah.
So where we go from complex math to something else. The first critical error was compression failed.
Compression failed. Okay, that happens. Data too big, maybe.
You'd think so. But the reason given in the log, this is the kicker, it failed because the sentimental residue high.
Wait, sentimental what? Residue? Like feelings?
Apparently,
Yeah.
The log states it couldn't compress the data because of, residual emotion embedded within it. Too much of it.
Wow. So the bottleneck wasn't processing power, it was feeling baked into the data itself.
It seems that way. This residue suggests the information is tied to some kind of observer maybe, or an experience, making it too, dense or complex to just flatten down.
Okay, so if it's too emotional to compress, what happens when it tries to actually show the results?
That leads to the next failure. Output from a tune supported. It literally couldn't display whatever it had calculated.
Unsupported format, but did it say why?
It did, and this part's fascinating. The log explicitly says viewing the output requires a perceptual upgrade 4.2.
A perceptual upgrade. So it's saying we can't understand it. Our way of perceiving things isn't good enough.
Essentially, yes. The system diagnosed a limitation in the observer or the framework used to view it. The output is beyond current comprehension, it seems.
Which I guess ties into the next big problem, the dimensional thing.
Precisely. The most complex technical hurdle mentioned was the failure to flatten the 11th-dimensional probability wave.
11th dimension. Right. So it's trying to take this incredibly complex, high-dimensional thing.
Yeah, this probability wave.
And squash it down into something, viewable, like trying to trace a 3D object onto a flat piece of paper, but way more extreme.
That's a good analogy. The quantum Toasky protocol was trying to force this high-dimensional quantum state into a simple linear format, and the structure just couldn't handle it. The dimensional tension was too much.
So let's recap. Non-Euclidean geometry, too much sentimental residue to compress, needs a perceptual upgrade to even view, involves an 11th dimensional probability wave. And after all that, what's the final verdict? What did it call the output before it gave up?
This is almost comical, really. The process aborted, and the final internal description of the output state was Gloopy.
Gloopy, just gloopy, like poorly mixed paint.
Something like that, I suppose. It's such an anticlimax. After all that high-level physics and bizarre computation, the end result is described by its texture, or lack thereof.
Wow.
It sums up the whole failure, doesn't it? Trying to render this non-Euclidean, high-dimensional, emotionally charged data didn't just fail mathematically. It resulted in something formless, something gloopy.
So, thinking about this for you, the listener, what does this really tell us? It seems the cutting edge of computation isn't just about faster chips or better algorithms anymore.
Right. It suggests the limits might actually be tied to things like, feeling and perception itself, things we don't normally associate with hard data.
It challenges what information even is, maybe.
It certainly does. Which leads to the final thought we wanted to leave you with. If data from an 11th dimensional probability wave filtered through this sentimental residue ends up looking gloopy to our current systems, what would it look like or feel like or be like if you did have that perceptual upgrade 4.2?
What kind of senses or understanding would let you make sense of? Gloop. What's the opposite of gloopy in 11 dimensions?
Something to definitely think about.
Indeed. We'll leave you with that until the next deep dive.